Hello everyone, my name is Glenn, and I'd like to thank Kathy for inviting me to the Pathways project to sing a few songs. So this winter, in fact for about the last year in particular, I've really been enjoying getting outside to nearby nature, sometimes my backyard garden or over to places like Jackson Park or getting out on my bike. And so this is a song all about getting outside into the great outdoors. And I've got my tenor banjo here and my harmonica. Well, the screen is on and the Wi-Fi's quick. See the world with a double click. The great outdoors, oh, I don't know. Guess I'll try with the Pokemon Go. It's the World Wide Web of life you'll see. A million types of critters, which one will you be? Look up, look down, look all around. The forest is calling with the chickadee sound. Repeat after me, let's do the chickadee. Chick, 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 chickadee. Chick, 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 chickadee. Well, the screen went off and the Wi-Fi too. What in the world's a kid to do? Walk out your door, look all around. The planet is calling with a whole lot of sound. It's the World Wide Web of life you'll see. A million types of critters, which one will you be? Look up, look down, look all around. The field is calling with the butterfly sound. Okay, this time we're going to do the butterfly. They have a long tongue called a proboscis, which they unfurl and they sip on nectar. So repeat after me. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Slurp, 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 slurp. Slurp, 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 slurp. Well, my mind is on and my senses too. Outside my door so much is new. Vitamin nature, a dab will do. The planet is calling and is waiting for you. And it's the World Wide Web of life you'll see. A million types of critters, which one will you be? Look up, look down, look all around. The wetland is calling with the bullfrog sound. Okay, repeat after me, embrace your inner bullfrog. Romp, romp, romp. Romp, romp, romp. Romp, 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 romp. Romp, 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 romp. Well, so many critters, the list is long. To habitats they all belong. Reptiles, fish, amphibians too. Insects, birds, and mammals like you. It's the World Wide Web of life you'll see. A million types of critters, which one will you be? Look up, look down, look all around. Now choose your favorite critter and make it sound. Oh boy, how are we going to ever decide our favorite critter? So on the count of 3, I want everybody to make the sound of a critter. Now, scientists think there's over 4 million types of critters in our world. The most numerous are insects. There's over 1 million types of insects, 30,000 types of birds, 4,000 types of mammals, 6,000 types of amphibians. You get the idea. There's a whole lot of critters. They're still discovering lots of new ones all the time. But think of a critter. Count of 3, we're going to make that sound. I think I'll do the nuthatch. It's a little bird that goes straight up the tree and straight down the tree. Run up and down the tree. And it goes, eh, eh. Okay, so everybody got one? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Eh, 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 eh. Good job, everybody. There we go, well done. So that is the World Wide Web of life. I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Mississauga and Anishinaabe First Nations people, and we're in the territory of Treaty 20 that was signed back 202 years ago in 1818, and we're also in the territory of the Williams Treaties that were signed back in 1923, so we're all treaty people. And well, right behind me, there's a map here. And my friend Ben, I wrote this song about Canada, and I sang it to him, and he drew a picture of the song. Now, it's probably a little hard to see, but it's called A Perfect Day. You can see there's a theme here, a bit of a thread running through this. This is another song about getting outside. I'm hoping you can kind of see my banjo, but it's a little hard to figure all these little bits and pieces out. But anyways, so feel free to sing along. Way up north is where we go, with polar bears and lots of snow. That is the place I'd like to be. In Canada, it's what you'll see. So we're going way up north to start, up into the Arctic. It's, now down here are the lyrics. Can everybody see that? So let's follow it. It's a perfect day, we're outward bound. Walk out your door and look all around. The beaver, moose, and the maple tree. In Canada, it's what you'll see. Way out west, those giant trees, rocking and rolling in the ocean breeze. A whale jumps high, a marmot digs low. In Canada, it's an outdoor show. It's a perfect day, we're outward bound. Walk out your door and look all around. The beaver, moose, the maple tree. In Canada, what you'll see. So that verse was about the west coast. Now we're going to go to the part of Canada that's really flat. Anybody know the name of that area? So that's the prairies. Out where the land is flat and long, you might hear a cowboy singing a song. The wheat and the wind is a-waving too, with the prairie cows do what they do. Oh, it's a perfect day, we're upward bound. Walk out your door and look all around. The beaver, moose, the maple tree. In Canada, what you'll see. Let's go now to the east coast, out to the maritime provinces. Way out east, the fiddlers do a little bit of jigging on the great big blue. Icebergs, puffins, rolling to and fro, pulling your nets before the winds outblow. It's a perfect day, we're upward bound. Walk out your door and look all around. The beaver, moose, the maple tree. In Canada, what you'll see. Now we're going to go to the middle part here, which is, well, mostly the middle part, Ontario and Quebec. At Niagara Falls, the water does flow, 5 great lakes to the ocean go. The powwow dance, the fleur-de-lis, wonders all around us you can see. It's a perfect day, we're upward bound. Walk out your door and look all around. The beaver, moose, the maple tree. In Canada, what you'll see. Now you can see up at the top here, we have the Canadian flag, and there's a question mark. And under it, it says, what is Canada to you? Because Canada is full of so many different landscapes, different critters, different people, and there's just so many amazing stories. I'm getting excited. I'm going to tell you a story in a minute, but let's finish this off. North, south, east, west, on and on. I'm sure you will add more to my song. About a critter, a place, a person, or a thing. Strike up a tune and let's all sing one more time. It's a perfect day, we're upward bound. Walk out your door and look all around. The beaver, moose, the maple tree. In Canada, it's what you'll see. There we go, perfect day. Well, I mentioned I was going to tell you a story. Let's see, what story should I do? Oh, I think I'll do the string story. So, let me get positioned here. I'm going to move up a little bit closer. There we go. And I'm going to tell a story using this piece of string. Oh, there's a knot in that one. I'll have to use my backup string. Okay, let's check. Make sure I've got all the strings ready to go. So this is a story that happened, like many stories, long ago, about 200 years ago in a place called Quebec. You see, there was a fellow there, his name was Roger, and he was a farmer. He was living in Quebec, and like many people in those days, he was farming, living off the land, and he lived in a little cabin. So let's see if I can make this look like a little cabin in the woods. Can you guys see the cabin there? There, straighten that out a little bit, angle it. Okay, so there you can see the roof and the walls. Anyways, Roger started to hear rumors that he could get a job paddling a canoe. Not surprising, given that Canada, for thousands of years, the First Nations people followed the freshwater highway, over 2 million lakes and rivers in Canada. Wow. So, in the spring of the year, when all the snow was melting and the rivers were running, Roger packed up his gear, went outside. I want you to watch now because this is Roger's gate. So he went to the edge of his property and he opened the gate just like this. And he started to walk. He got down to the mighty St. Lawrence River. All of the 5 Great Lakes, the water flows down the St. Lawrence River. It's over 1,000 kilometers long. Well, when Roger got to La Chine, he saw beautiful birch bark canoes. Can you see the canoe there? And he looked, he peeked inside, he could see blankets, pots and pans, metal axes, fish hooks, all sorts of things that he needed to trade with the First Nations people. So he got into the canoe, and off he went. Make this look like a paddle. There we go. He would often sing songs like "La bonbon, la jolie vent, la bonbon mamie m'appelle, la bonbon, la jolie vent, la bonbon mamie m'attend." Well, Roger came right up into this area known as the Kawarthas. Now that word Kawartha comes from the Anishinaabemowin word Kawategamog. And it got changed around. They dropped the gamog and they added an R and a TH. It became known as the Kawarthas. So Roger came right up into this territory, the Mississauga Anishinaabe. Now, this is a tough trick. Here we go. It's called calm water. There you have it. So he's paddling along. The water was calm. But then he heard this sound. It's the sound of the wind. And as you know, if a lake gets windy, even a river, you can get waves. So what did Roger do? Well, in those days there weren't life jackets or search and rescue, so Roger paddled to the shore. So let's see if I can make this look like. Okay, I'm going to put this one here. As he got towards the shore, let's see if I can remember. How does this one go here? Can I remember it? For some reason I'm blanking out. Maybe it goes like this. And then, let's try it one more time. Sometimes I have this where I can't quite remember certain strings. Anyways, Roger arrived at an encampment. So I was actually going to make this to look like a wigwam. So Roger arrived, he said, "Ani." And Waknago. Roger Nandishnakas. So Roger spoke a bit of Ojibwe, and he started to trade. He traded some pots and pans, and he got some different animal pelts. Eventually, he got beaver pelts, because back in those days, they were worth a lot of money. And when Roger got those beaver pelts, oh, he had a smile about this big on his face. He was so happy. Well, he said, "Chimigwich, thank you, and Guabman." And off he paddled. Now, a little bit later, it was getting dark. So Roger pulled the canoe up onto the shore, and he got his campsite ready. So what he did is he took his deerskin pouch, and in his pouch he had a flint and steel. Now, the First Nations used flint, which is a type of rock, for arrowheads and axe heads and fur scrapers, spearheads. And if you put metal with it, you get, can you see the sparks? Yeah, I think that's showing up pretty nicely. So he got his fire going, and then after he had his meal, he pulled out a little instrument known as the jaw harp. Well, Roger was having so much fun, he didn't notice, but out of the woods came a sneaky, cheeky creature. Can you guess who this was? This is a nocturnal creature, nighttime creature. This creature is an omnivore, so it eats, what does an omnivore eat? Well, plants and meat. And this creature has whiskers And this creature started to tiptoe around Roger's camp. That's right, he started making a bit of a mess. Well, Roger chased that, if you've already guessed, he chased that raccoon away. Suddenly, when the raccoon ran up a tree, Roger realized he was lost in the Pays d'En. He was lost in Anishinaabe, out in the wilderness. What was he going to do? How was he going to get back to his camp? It was starting to get dark. Well, he turned around, and what did he see? All right, let's see if I can remember this one. This one's a little tricky. Couple moves here I had to really practice. All right, drop that one, bring this one up here, pull this one over here. This is the tricky part. I got to get my pinky over there, thread it through. He saw standing right there, my end gun in Ojibwe, or la loup in French, or the wolf. Oh, Roger was a little scared. He'd heard a lot of stories about wolves being kind of mean. But you know what? When a wolf picks up the scent of a human, and they have a very good sense of smell, they do this. They run away. So the wolf ran away just like that. Oh, Roger thought, phew, that was close. But he still had a problem. He was still lost. Well, Roger thought to himself, I've learned a lot from the First Nations. How to get to the mishkiki, the medicines from plants if I'm sick. How to patch my canoe, take the weewas, that birch bark, and patch up the canoe. The First Nations of, well, they're my trading partner. And then he thought, wait a minute. I remember a First Nations person telling me that if you're ever lost at night, look up, and what do you see? Well, on a clear night, you'll see what? The moon, some of the planets, and the stars. So in Anishinaabe Moan, Jibe Kona, the Milky Way. So he looked up, he could see the Milky Way. Then he could see Ochikanan, the Big Dipper. And the Big Dipper points to Kiwaidanang, the North Star. So here, like many cultures around the world, stars were used to navigate, particularly that northern star. Because if you knew where that star was, you would know which way was north. And in this case, Roger's camp, the lake he was on, where he was camping, was to the south. So he knew which way to go. And he got back to the lakefront, and in fact, he looked down the lake, he could see his fire still flickering. So he got back to his camp, and the next day, he began his long journey back to Montreal. So, that's the story of Roger. All right, what's next? I think I'll sing a little one. This is a song, a new song. It's called Stand Up for What We Stand On. It's one of the things I like to do. I really enjoy being outside, but I also like to grow trees and plant vegetables in my backyard. And so this is a little song about looking after our home, the earth. Stand up for what we stand on. Our home is green and blue. Our earth is a great big spaceship and everybody's crew. From the tops of the highest mountain to the depths of the deep blue sea, let's take one for our planet team, as there is no planet B. So stand up for what we stand on. Our home is green and blue. Our earth is a great big spaceship and everybody's crew. The start of 1,000 forests, you'll find it in one seed. Our animal friends are calling, and there's habitat they need. So stand up, what we stand on. Our home is green and blue. Our earth is a great big spaceship, and everybody's crew. The neighborhood outside my door, and the climate too. Let's go back to the circle and help the earth renew. So stand up for what we stand on. Our home is green and blue. Our earth is a great big spaceship and everybody's crew. There we go. Stand up for what we stand on. You know, it's pretty fun. I sometimes tell students that I'm a dot connector. And you might be wondering, what does he mean by a dot connector? Well, when you start to connect the dots, and you start to see what people are doing all over our planet, to look after our home, the Earth. It's pretty exciting because people are doing all sorts of really great projects and activities, planting trees, cleaning up, thinking about other things we can do to help the Earth. Maybe you could think of something you could do to help the Earth. Any thoughts on that one? Planting trees, cleaning up garbage. Oh, one of my favorites is riding a bike. Hey, that makes me think of this song. All right. Kickstands up. Oh, no, it goes like this. Straight out the door, onto the street, buckle my helmet, move my feet, spin my pedal to the left and the right. Won't be back till the day is night. Till the day is night. But the greatest thing to you I'll tell is B-I-K-E. What's that spell? What does B-I-K-E spell? You got it, bike. And I hope you'll bike as well. Hope you'll bike as well. Down the street, my pedals I push, wave as I go when I go with a whoosh. Cracking the pavement, the city's behind. It's a bike adventure, what will I find? Yes, what will I find? The greatest thing to you I'll tell is B-I-K-E. What's that spell? You got it, bike. Hope you'll bike as well. Hope you'll bike as well. While the end of a rainbow, a pot of gold. That's the story that I've been told. But it's gold every time, mile after mile, when I ride my bike, it makes me smile. Yes, it makes me smile. The greatest thing to you I'll tell is B-I-K-E. What's that spell? You got it. I hope you'll bike as well. Hope you'll bike as well. Oh yes, here we go. Heart's beating fast, winds in my ear, fly like a bird, I'm in high gear. My song is done, I can't sing no more. My bike is waiting, I'm out the door. Yes, I'm out the door. Greatest thing to you I'll tell is B-I-K-E. What's that spell? You got it. Hope you'll bike as well. 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 There we go, a little one about cycling. Boy, that is something that I really enjoy doing. It's getting out on my bike and exploring. And we're so lucky to live in such a beautiful area. It's just endless, all the great places you can go on a bike. Well, I've got a bit more time here, and I want to show you guys, I'm working on a new puppet show. It's not quite ready, but I've always wondered what happened right here in Peterborough if we went back in time. And that's what my new puppet show is about. But here's a little sneak peek. If we went back in time 500 million years ago, well, things would have been a lot different. In fact, we would have been underwater in a shallow tropical ocean. And these creatures, okay, you ready for it? This creature is called Opabina, and they swam around that ocean. And they're only about 2.5 inches long. And let's see, hopefully this will work. I'm going to put Opabina right up to this screen here. Can you see that? I hope you can see it. Look at Opabina. What an interesting creature. So it had 5 eyes protruding from its head. It had a proboscis. You see, oh, this is interesting doing this. A proboscis, and it would grab its prey. And then its mouth was on its stomach. So it would put the food right there. Its mouth was right there. What an interesting creature. And what's kind of cool is I have a fossil of Opabina right here. Now this may not work because it's black, but let's see. Can you guys see that? Okay, I'm going to bring it up close. Oh boy. Maybe angle it. Oh yeah, I think you're getting a little view of it. You see the proboscis? So that is a piece of shale with Opabina. About 350 million years ago, there was another creature, about 40 feet long, and this is a cephalopod. If you ever go up to Camp Kawartha, there are cephalopod fossils right at the camp. And these creatures were the ancestors of squids that we see today in the ocean. But imagine that, 40 feet long. And I have that fossil right here. So there's quite a few of those around because that shallow tropical ocean, in fact, if you know limestone was made from all the calcium in the shells of those creatures all those millions of years ago. And as they settled to the bottom, it hardened and became the limestone that's under our feet around Peterborough. Next creature, let's go. Oh, all right, so the dinosaurs were around about 150 million years ago, and then 65 million years ago. Well, they kind of had a bad day with the meteor hitting the Earth. But anyhow, we were still underwater at that time in Peterborough. And so that's why you don't find dinosaur fossils in Ontario, or at least they haven't been found so far. But there was this creature, the mosasaur, and this looks very sort of whale or shark-like, but that was definitely, you could think of it as an aquatic dinosaur. And I have right here a tooth from a mosasaur. And remember that they had hundreds and hundreds of these teeth. And here, I'll just put my hand on the top. You can see the bottom part. That is a mosasaur tooth. Boy, talk about interesting stories. Now, this is, can you guess what this is? This is from much more recent. So about 50,000 years ago, if you were around here, it would have been very cold because it would have been a something age. If you said ice age, you're right. And this is from a really large creature. Boy, see if I can get my hand in here. Oh yeah, there we go, it's coming in. This is from a tusk. Can you guess what creature? This was found on the north shore of Lake Erie. So that's not too far from here. So that, of course, was the woolly mammoth. Yeah, amazing. And then there were mastodons, which is a similar species. And of course, they both went extinct. And another artifact I want to show you is an arrowhead. It's about 400 years old. And of course, the First Nations people have been here for many thousands of years. And so arrowheads were used traditionally for hunting. And this one came from a place called Wendake. The Wendat people, or the Huron people, traditionally lived in villages like this. I don't know if this is going to work too well, but this is these are long houses. So you see the river going around the front, and then there's a wall. It's almost like a castle with a wall going around it. And in each of those long houses, you would have, I think, maybe several families living in those long houses. And today, the ancestors live near Quebec, at a place called Wendake. They moved to the east. And I was lucky enough to go there to a powwow several years back. And what a wonderful place. Had so much fun. If you ever get a chance, around Peterborough, we have Curve Lake First Nation, Alderville, and Hiawatha, and they all have powwows. And I really recommend, if you haven't gone to a powwow, check it out. It's a really fun celebration. So, I think I'm going to do one more song. And this is a new song that has to do with the pictures I showed you. Let's have a little sip of water. And it goes like this. If I could slide in the Ice Age or outrun a T-Rex or climb the very first tree, hike Pangea or swim with the cephalopods, oh, the things I would see. 500 million years ago, Apabina swam each day with 5 eyes and a hidden mouth, and this is what he'd say. The sound of Apabina, I don't know, I guess it would be like a splash, splash, splash. Repeat after me. Splash, splash, splash. Splash, splash, splash. If I could slide in the Ice Age or outrun the T-Rex or climb the very first tree, hike Pangea or swim with the cephalopods, oh, the things I would see. Let's see what's next. Oh, let's do, I think we'll do the T-Rex. 100 million years ago, the T-Rex ruled the day, eating other dinosaurs, and this is what he'd say. All right, repeat after me. Let's do that T-Rex roar. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Roar! If I could slide in the Ice Age or outrun a T-Rex, or climb the very first tree. Hike Pangea or swim with the cephalopods, oh, the things I would see. 50,000 years ago, the mammoths ruled the day, eating all the trees and plants, and this is what they'd say. Repeat after me, here's the mammoth call. Now let's see, there's a lot of different eras in the story of the Earth. The biggest one was the Pre-Cambrian Era. That lasted for billions of years. I'm going to see if I can go through the different eras. Now, when I speak of eras, does anybody know the dinosaurs lived during what era? Have you heard of the Jurassic, or the Triassic, or the Cretaceous? That was the era when the dinosaurs were around. So here we go. There was the Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, and the Carboniferous too. Permian, Jurassic, Cretaceous, then came me and you. Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's been a whole lot of fun. I hope you get outside and explore the World Wide Web of life. It's an amazing world that we live in. So I hope that you guys will get outside. So thank you again to Kathy Dewick and the Pathways. Bye-bye, everyone.